Lufthansa 426 Heavy, runway 27 right, clear to land, wind 320 at 4. Lufthansa 426, clear left, clear left.
Let's try this again. Do it for a go.
Red Lake 502, turn right, turn right at Delta 2.
I'm exhausted. Let's see. Alright, go back.
Lucy 5187, contact partner.
Bring that up.
American 723, try to hold position while you arrive runway 27, they'll be holding position on the crossing runway 35. After that.
All right, I think that's up. Let's try this one again. I tried this one a little while ago, but that stuttering was back. And as it turns out, I'm trying to get the filters to work with MS-2020, but all of a sudden the filter menu is just flickering and flashing. I can't figure that one out. So I went and put the app in, and then the app screwed up my drivers. So I got it back to where I was. I don't know why we're all the way up here, though. We should definitely not be back here. Let me back this up here before we get out of here. Put us in the wrong spot. But I've got everything programmed in already. Definitely should not be there. Alright, that's better. But if anybody's run into that problem before, because I'm really new at running NVIDIA's filters, but that little menu that pops up on the side where you can select what you want, brightness, contrast, details, and all that, it just goes flickers on and off, on and off. I can't really set anything now all of a sudden. I can't figure that one out. But I do have my drivers back in. We should have a nice smooth performance yet again. And let's see, DW, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Oh, thanks, Ghost. I appreciate that, Ghost Fox. Thanks. And who's that? Mr. X? What's up, Mr. X? How's it going? All right, I'm going to try and run a Transavia flight? Flight 6610 from Innsbruck to Amsterdam. So we're going to see if we can get this right in. Everything's all programmed in. I don't have SayIntentions up because I threw everything back up again, try and get on out of here. It's already after 5, I think, for me, and I wanted to get multiple runs in today. Oh, it's almost 5, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Hey, Jackson, how's it going? So, don't mind me if this isn't all that pretty. And we've got runway 26 on the way out. And the batteries are dead, so I can't give you that screen on the right-hand side, unfortunately. How about we just sit right here? That's good enough. Let's get set up to get on out of here. Taxi, give me you, give me TA, auto. Let me just check these flight controls. Yeah, right now this is charging up, so I'm hoping that if I can get another ride in today, I'll be able to give you that screen at least. Oh, I'm glad you're doing good, Jackson. Beautiful. You know what? Let's have a peek here. I really rushed this one. That top half is done. All right, exterior lights, we are good. APU is needed, it's off. We have a clean board. Flaps are set for takeoff. Transponders, TA, auto weather radars, auto flight controls are free and clear. Okay. We should be all caught up here, I believe. And I'm hoping we're going to have a great view on the way out. The weather looks great. I'm running real weather out here. and it looks like it's pretty clear. So these mountains should look amazing on the way out. And we got runway 26 on the way out with MOGTIX 1, or MOGTI 1 X, I believe it is. So we're not doing any loop and turns out, but we do have a couple of turns coming up. We're not doing a complete loop around, which would have been pretty cool, but. And now she's running nice and smooth, and I'm still not running that front screen. I've got window 3 up here. I've got windows 1, 2, and 3 with the main MS-2020 menu screen minimized because it just introduces stutters. Let me put that in here. And that's not up, so we're not going to be talking to anybody this ride, unfortunately. And you're on TARA. Let's have a peek. That notification is complete. Exterior lights, we are good. Engine start selected to continuous. Auto throttle is armed. Well, I'm going to have to arm that again once we make the U-turn. Transponders TARA and parking brake release 40%. We're gone. All right, we're going to come down here. We're going to make a U-turn. And we should have an amazing view on the way out. I hope those that celebrate Thanksgiving had a good one yesterday. We did. A whole bunch of family over here and some friends. And I actually did turn the simulator on for a little bit, but I didn't go live with some of my friends and family. But they had to come in and go for a ride. They were playing out in LA, having a blast. And one of the boyfriends that were here never saw this before. Came in here, was like, whoa! I think they're going to run us into the lights here if we follow that all the way down. Wow, what a view. Look at that view, man. Alright, let's go to 40% here. Beautiful view. We're stable. Toga. Thrust set. Airspeed's active. Nice and smooth. Check. Throttle hold. We're stable through 80. See, she's nice and smooth now. Gear up. We're going to see how the auto flight does here. I want to enjoy this view on the way out. Look at that view, man. That is sweet. Don't need that. Let me have the SID, and we have MOGTIX 1X special. Wow, look at that view, man. That is sweet. I just wish I was able to use my filters because I did some work with the filters and the lighting, I believe, was a little bit better. Oh, flaps one. And flaps up. Beautiful view. How cool is this? What a view. So at 5:02 we need to be above 7,100 feet. And then 8:02 we need to be above 10,520, and then above MOGTIX we need to be above 13. Don't think it's going to be an issue, but man, what a view. I haven't been out here in a while, but man, beautiful. All right, we're on a 250 knot climb. And PMDG is right on the money. I'm using the latest and greatest that they just put out the other day. Hey, Sofa. I'm actually running a 4090 tough board from Asus with an AMD 7950 X3D processor on a Gigabyte X670E Aurorus Master setup. And I'm running 7 screens with this setup. I've got my 3 externals running at 4K, and I have these 4 screens running at 1366 by 768. We're coming up on 10. Here's a little flicker there. I'm doing good, Working Zone. I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm using the PMDG, the 737-800 from them, yeah. Yep, I'm going from Innsbruck to Amsterdam. I haven't done this ride in a while. The mountains look great. Only thing I wish I had was the tint going on with the filters. I set up a whole bunch of filters, and I'm not able to use them because the NVIDIA Experience, that pop-up menu with the Alt F3, it just keeps flickering on and off. I can't set anything, unfortunately. But I had some pretty nice settings in here to tone down some of this over whiteness that was going on. So far, this is right on the money on the way out. And that should be 263, actually. And let's switch on over. Yeah, the view, Roken Zone, I agree, man. The view out the window on this ride was amazing, man. Golden, Kentucky. Hey, Ray, we're actually pretty good. I can go outside in shorts and a T-shirt. I didn't look at the weather, but it's got to be at least in the 70s. At least, if not in the 80s. Yeah, so far I'm saving up. The entire flight deck was built by Flightdeck Solutions with Flight Illusion gauges. So I'm trying to keep everything either Flightdeck Solution or Flight Illusions. So their motorized throttle quad is a hefty penny. But, you know, you get what you pay for. So, I mean, I've had this flight deck 10 years, and I really haven't changed much but a few Hall effect sensors. So I added backlighting to the Jetmax throttle quad because I wanted to. I didn't have to. So, but one day I'm hoping I'll have the Flightdeck Solutions motorized quad in here with the backlighting to match the rest of the backlighting that's in here. So I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Sky. I'm doing pretty good. Well, whenever I'm in here, you know I'm having a good day. So. That's another good one, Jackson. Amsterdam to Gatwick. Because I haven't been out here in a while. Cool. Nice, Roken. We can let them run around. It's pretty smooth. And we are, that's it. We're done with the departure out of Innsbruck. And we're going to 322. And we're cruising at 360 today. This is a nice route because of all the mountains all around. This really is a great view. I can only imagine what the update's going to be going from 2020 to 2024 if they ever allow for offline flying. That's the only thing I'm waiting on. If I can get 2024 installed like I have 2020 installed, then I'll make the jump in a heartbeat. Let's see, we passed 18. What do we have here? Yep, that's all set. They've been notified. That's all good. Lights as needed, we're good. Start selectors as needed, that's all good. That's up and off. Altimeter's already on. Standard pressure. So basically it's monitor your electrical power, hydraulic systems, cabin temperature, engine status, fuel usage, flight plan progress, pressurization panel, and then we have to program the arrival into Amsterdam. Not that much. So we're leaving Vienna's airspace right now. We're heading into Munich. All in all, it's been a pretty cool ride. That took a while because I'm using Device Interface Manager, and that program is actually in the making right now. It's available, it's freeware, but I was working with Mr. Odom and working out a lot of the bugs, so it did take a while to get it set up. But the great thing is now with this and the profiles, if you have a Flightdeck Solutions forward overhead, you could just grab my profile and use it. You don't have to create your own. Unless your buttons and switches happen to be wired differently on the controller board, which is highly unlikely, you just have to change some numbers. Same thing with any other component that's in here. Once someone creates a profile, it's shareable. And if you have the same hardware, you should be pretty much good to go relatively in a short period of time. And it's freeware. So, well, donationware, but he still hasn't put anything up for donations anywhere. So, maybe one day he will. So at KPT we should have 13.8 on the fuel. We're at 13.9 right now. And in Amsterdam we should have 8.4 when we get in. So we got another 60 miles to top of climb. We've got 461 to go. Yeah, I don't like that mandatory online stuff. I mean, it's bad enough that with 2020 they have to I have to connect to a server so they can check my account, and then from there I can fly offline, no big deal. But if the servers go down completely, then I may not even be able to have my, my license information checked to fly. So, but with 2024, if their servers are down, you're in sad trouble because you're not going to be able to fly at all. And if they're partially down, you may not be able to fly. You may be stuck in a queue, where at least if they're partially down in 2020, if I can connect and get my login information, I'm good to go. Then there's also X-Plane. I'm fortunate enough to be able to run this flight deck with either MS-2020-24 or X-Plane 12. So I use Device Interface Manager with MS-2020-24, and I use FDS to XP when I'm running the Zebo mod in X-Plane 12 for the hardware. So, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I prefer MS-2020 or 2024 if it ever gets worked out for offline, because it just looks amazing. X-Plane just can't compete with that. But on the flip side of that, the nighttime flying, X-Plane 12 just blows 2020 out of the water. It just looks like they're just white tiles patched on top of a dark tile, and then just kind of fade it out at the edging. You don't have any control over the lights at all. They're basically just painted on there. And with X-Plane 12, I have individual bulbs that I can go in, I can adjust, I can change the color, and I can do a whole bunch of stuff to it, which is pretty cool. And it gives me a closer to real look at nighttime. So being able to fly both 2020 and X-Plane 12 is pretty cool. And it would not be possible without Mr. Odom or Mr. Picatanga there, who created the FDS to XP software and also maintains the ZHSI glass screens. So, and he does that for free of his own time, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Max, I have no doubt of that. But I just don't like 100% streaming online, because they can knock me out of the box at any time with a server issue. And I didn't spend over $100 grand to try and figure out my flight schedule based on their server load. Like when Christmas comes out, are you going to have a problem after Christmas with everybody that has a new FS 2024 or a new Xbox? I don't know. So, I mean, I get why they're doing it. It's all about money. They seem to be going more the Xbox route than they are the serious PC simmer. And I get why. Because if you're going to go 100% online streaming, you want the kiddies that get the Xbox for mommy and daddy on Christmas and FS 2024. You get that money. And then within 2 weeks, little Timmy's bored, and he goes and plays something else. And then their servers don't get hit, and they don't have to lay out the cash to beef them up. So I get it, but I just don't like it, you know. Worst case scenario, I still have 2020, and I still have X-Plane 12. And 2020 looks great. So, no complaints. And I finally have it nice and smooth. So that's even better. Yeah, it would have been nice if they catered to us serious simmers a little bit more, but I get it. It's the bottom line, and you know, you got to answer to the board of directors there and the stockholders. So not much we can do. We just have to hope that somebody in the SOBO or Microsoft is a true Microsoft, well, is a true aviation fanatic and really would like to see the PC end of it keep going. So, time will tell, that's for sure. All right, we're inbound Conord. Conord, we should have 12.9. We're at 13.1, so we're looking pretty good. And once again, Mikey headwinds, and we're fighting a 66 knot headwind. I don't get tailwinds all that often, unfortunately. I usually fight a headwind with the flights that I end up picking. Oh, there's the man right there, Mr. Niles. There he is. Yeah, Vincent, I agree with the X-Plane. No doubt about it. Absolutely. Hey, everybody, there he is, Mr. Odom. That's the gentleman that's responsible for me to allow all this to work with MS 2020. How cool is that? Oh, Odom, I'm always doing good when I'm in here. And I've got it down butter smooth now. With that menu being gone, it is butter smooth. Even coming out of Innsbruck like we just did, with the mountains all around, it was beautiful. So I've had quite a few good rides. I had one in between that was a little, you know, all stuttery. But as it turned out, once again, my NVIDIA settings were changed in 2020. So a couple of changes and we're back up and running. But I cannot use that main screen with the menu in the front for some reason. It just causes stutters. Very strange. Very strange.
Delta 140, clear to flight level 350, direct hand touching.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that yet. I mean, it wouldn't bother me all that much if the servers didn't have issues, but the servers have issues. I mean, they're saying this is MS2024 was 100% streaming right now until they get the their marketplace all up and running. And you're not down on that much data. If you're not downloading that much data, then how'd you have that much of a big problem during the send-off? And they should have had some idea on demand, because all you had to do was look at all the pre-orders. That'll give you some idea. And if you go back and take a look at 2020 to see how many Game Pass guys and gals joined on day one, you should be able to at least come up with some type of idea on what server ability you need to dish out. So, all right, we're just getting ready to come up on cruise at 360, and that's 23 minutes since we left Innsbruck. So 20 minutes since we entered the runway. We still have 405 miles to go to Amsterdam. So we're looking pretty good. At Tedco, we should have 12.6 on the fuel with 12.7, and we should have 8.5 when we get in, unless I can't put it down. But oh, we've got traffic in the other direction, and yet TCAS is showing nothing. Must be something going on with TCAS. I mean, I can actually see the green, the red, and the tail lights on this aircraft, along with the vapor trail. And yet they're not showing up on here. I wonder why. Not close enough where I could read the tail, but I can see the outline of the aircraft. It's that close. Should definitely be on that chart. Something to look at. Now that everything is running pretty smooth, I can start checking out little things here and there. Which is the best flying for real simmers? X-plane or MS-20? I guess it really depends on what you're doing. I prefer the Zebo mod and X-plane for my yoke and rudder pedal handling. I've been in a few multi-million-dollar sims, so I have an idea on what they feel like and the response. And to me, X-plane seems to give me a closer reality to what I remember in the sims. And I'm using real yoke and rudder pedals out of a Boeing, so it doesn't get any better than that. And X-plane gives me a better response to the yoke and rudder pedal movement and whatnot. So if you're looking for control, I would say that. If you're looking for dead reckoning for real world stuff, you're better off with the satellite data out of 2020, 2024, because flying in an imaginary world in X-plane 12 is not going to help you with that at all. Yeah, I flew the Cessna in 2024. There are a few people that said they didn't notice much of a change, but I mean, I flew the 152, the 172, the 182 RG in the real world, and 2024, the yellow one that they give you when you first boot up, she handled beautifully. So I don't know what some of them was talking about. So definitely has a better feel to it, 2024, but I only ran that one aircraft, so I really can't talk about any of the other ones, because I was just doing some airport hopping just to take a look at scenery around the airports just to see what they look like. And I would say 90-some% in 2024 looked real nice. A couple of areas still look, kind of fuzzy with the satellite data, like out in Honolulu, next to some of the airports, a little fuzzy with the satellite imagery, but other than that, she's looking real nice. They give me the option to go offline like 2020. I'd be in 2024 in a heartbeat. I would, being that I just got this up and running, I'd take it all apart, put 2024 in, take 2020 out, make room, and I'd switch over in a heartbeat. Oh, no problem, Vincent. Yeah, my flight simming goes all the way back to 1985. I started before the internet. Matter of fact, I ran a bulletin board service of flight simulation back then, which is in the National Registry. Transcontinental BBS, based out of Brooklyn, New York. That's how far back I go with flight simulation. And that's not funny, because that means I'm old. But I've seen a lot of stuff come. I've seen a lot of stuff go. I've seen a lot of good stuff and a lot of bad stuff. And right now, I mean, streaming would be a great thing, because I can see 20 or 50 years from now, you streaming over live satellite data, watching real people walk across the street, cars driving down the street. That would be a great thing. But it would have to be done streaming. But you need the ability to do it without having flickers, stutters, loading issues, being stuck in a queue, and all the other stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, I'd love to be around 50 years from now flying. Man, I could only imagine. Flying over New York, watching people actually walk. People actually cutting people off, giving them the finger if you're that close. Especially in the New York area. So, 12-3, 12-3 at Coven. Right on the money. Oh, that's coming into range anyway, and we're still 3-3-2. And the fuel's looking good. We've got 368 to go to Amsterdam, and I'll have 8.5 if I can put it down. So we've got 220 miles to top of descent. 368. Oh, okay. My wife, Dawn, the nurse, coming in with my meds. These are the ones that make me cough. I hate this. Yeah, I'll get him. She gives me that look because she knows I hate these meds. The other ones later on aren't too bad. I could deal with those, but this one makes me hack and cough. And if I don't get it under control, then I got to take some cough syrup with codeine, and then I'm shot for the rest of the day because it bothers my stomach. So, you know what? We're at cruise. We're looking pretty good. I'm going to go take my meds. I'll be back in a minute or two. And I'll be right back.
Get out of 119er, 197, 1997.
Boy, it just got real warm in here. Phew. All right, and what are we looking at? Yeah, okay. And 339. Sunberg, 12-1. 12 now, so we're good. What'd I miss? Anything? Oh, FS98. Yeah, I've had that one too. Matter of fact, I have a whole big rack of 5 1/4 inch diskettes with all my flight sim stuff. Way back when Bruce Boy was involved before he sold it to Microsoft. Long time ago. Let's see, hobby about a month. Oh man, you're in for some good times. So much to learn. Yeah, that certainly is. Depending on the aircraft you want to fly. Yep. Yeah, I would look for something that has Hall effect sensors in them. Broken zone. I mean, Hall effect sensors are pretty precise, so you don't have a lot of play with it. You do with the pots, you know. Yeah, the disc. Yep. We went from floppy disks to 3.5 inch, those hard diskettes. And those of us figured out that you bought the cheap ones, the 720s, and you took a pair of scissors and cut a notch in the other side. You turned them into, you doubled the space on them. I have a whole bunch of discs like that. I cut the side off with a scissor, then bent it back and forth until I snapped it off. And I doubled the size of my disc. And paid half the price. Then we went to CDs. I remember, what was it? FSX, was it? The one that had the 2 folds outs. You had to fold both of them out. There's a whole bunch of CDs you had to put in, one after the other. My God, I shiver when I freaking think about having to do a reinstall back then. Oh my Lord. I mean, I had airports purchased from all kinds of companies back then. I mean, I had about 200 airports, from FS Dream Team to the other company that started a little bit later, made some really nice stuff. I can't remember the name of it. But a whole bunch of stuff. I went back to Company Blue was around, made the cheaper stuff, but it was still better than freeware that came with the program. Whole bunch of companies. But when you had to do a reinstall because something happened, it would take me almost a week. And that was one of the joys that I really liked about X-Plane 12. I install X-Plane 12 with everything I want in one computer, and then just over the network. Copy the whole directory into that computer, copy the whole directory into that computer, any computer I want. All I have to do is put in my registration information, and they're up and running. That was a godsend to have to go through a week worth of setup stuff. So for those of you just getting started, you have no idea the grief you've missed. All right, Bantam, we should have 11.7, and we're 11.7 right now. 8.6 when we get in. We're looking pretty good. 176 the top of descent. Still a little over 300 to go. All right, I think it's cool enough in here. That was my favorite aircrafts, guy. The Level D 767. Yep. That was my favorite aircraft. It had 2D panels back then. They were just getting into the 3D stuff. I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was a real airline pilot. I think he was still in the makings when he was making that aircraft. And I believe he passed away, actually. Yep, that Boeing Brown, man, that was my favorite aircraft. But back 10, 12 years ago, well, 10 years ago, when I was putting together a flight deck, getting 767 stuff was really difficult. 737, the NG was big back then. So, And then I was fortunate enough to find Flightdeck Solutions. And then the rest is history. I'm 10 years going now. All right, 314, and we're inbound unlock. 11.6, 11.6. Right on the money. Yeah, that was a nice aircraft. That aircraft was top notch, state of the art back in the day from him. Matter of fact, I think I actually made a panel for that that's on flightsim.com. It was a little communications panel, a little square panel that had like 6 buttons on it. And all you had to do is push that button and it would play an audio file, like for the crew in the back and whatnot, so you can hear the attendants. I did it in the Boeing gray and the Boeing brown. A second one on top of this one? I don't think I'd want another flight simulator. If I had room for another one, I would put a racing sim in here or a helicopter simulator. I think between the two, yeah, I would put a full heli sim in here. Get a half cockpit. I'd even have one of the blades on it sticking halfway out with it cut off just past the monitor. A helicopter simulator, I think, would be pretty cool. And if I didn't have the room, I could still do it now. Pick up the seat with the cyclic and the throttle and all that. I could pick up a seat and then pick up some VR glasses. I mean, I wouldn't be streaming it on YouTube, but that I think would be pretty cool, because once the helicopter's all set up, ready to go, your hands are full, right? You've got your hand here, you're on the yoke, you've got your rudder pedals going, right? You're sitting here, so you don't need your hands anywhere else. So with the 3D glasses, that setup would actually work. And in 2024, I would imagine that has to look absolutely off the hook amazing. Going from the Pan Am building in Manhattan to JFK to go pick up some passengers and then bring them back, that's got to be a pretty amazing view. Or coming from, was it the West Street heliport or even the East Side heliports, either one of the two. That's got to be pretty amazing. Yeah, for sightseeing, absolutely. No doubt about it. That would be, yeah, if I could do that. I don't know if I could figure, I don't think I could fit it in here anywhere. I mean, it's not that big either. It's just a seat and whatnot, but I don't think I'd be able to get it in here. This 2-car garage is pretty packed. But that would be something that I would look for next. And then the NASCAR racing. Because I have the TSW, the steering wheel, the brake, the clutch, and all that. And that was an expensive setup back in the day, too. That was like $1,200 back then. So, yeah, I would love to do it. If I ever hit the lottery, I told my wife, we get a 6-car garage with the house. Must. This would be in one, a helicopter would be in the other one, and a NASCAR racing sim would be in the third one. And then my 70 Challenger would be in one, her car that she drives, and then my car that I drive on a regular basis. Although I probably wouldn't be driving anywhere with all 3 of those simulators in my house. That's for sure. All right, so we're inbound at Adino, which is 274. And the fuel, 11.3, 11.3. We're right on the money. Beautiful ride. Who's somebody snuck in here? Maverick Mike, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good, man. Whenever you see me in here, I'm having a good day. No doubt about it. Spain, wow. Hey, David, how's it going? Yeah, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. Spain's a little ways off, man. Pretty cool. How many CPUs do you use for that cockpit? Yeah, that cough actually is from 9/11. I was a first responder in New York back in 2001. So, unfortunately, that's my 9/11 cough. That's chronic. I'll have that forever. I just have to try and keep it in check. because the little things can set it off, you know. So, but depending on what I'm running, as far as the CPUs are concerned, David, if I'm running MS-2020, which is what I'm doing now, or 2024, I'm running just the one computer for like 98% of what's going on in here. The only thing that one computer isn't doing are my two CDUs. That runs on a separate computer. Everything else is run on one computer. It's a 7950 X3D from AMD with an Asus TUF 79, an Asus TUF 4090 video board, and on a gigabyte motherboard, X670 Aorus Master, and a 7950 X3D chip. The RAM that I have in here is DDR5, 64 gigabit, running at 6,000. Was it hertz? So all on a 990 Pro NVMe, 2 terabyte. So pretty much state of the art. But it handles everything beautifully. All 7 screens. It's amazing. When I run X-Plane 12, I run 4 computers. I run one computer for my left screen, one computer for my center screen and server, one computer for my right screen, and then one computer that runs my glass screens. Because X-Plane 12 puts more of a demand on my hardware, believe it or not. So.
15 miles south of Ruiz is UNO, correct?
2730, affirmative, 15 south of Ruiz, 210.
In Long Island, wow, I got a friend in Ronkonkoma. He's like 15 minutes from MacArthur Airport. Pretty cool. Hey, if I'm ever in New York, I'll go check out his cockpit. Mad respect. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Roken Zone. Yeah, it was some wild times back then, that's for sure. No doubt about it. I'll tell you, this has to be the first time since going back to 1985 where the hardware has finally caught up with the software. I've chased the X chips since 1980s. I've always bought the latest and greatest, and the X chips squeezed out a little bit more. They were probably the best of the bins, and they were able to kick them up. So I followed those chips, and if you know Intel, you're changing a chip, you're changing the motherboard, you know, you're changing everything. They didn't make it easy, which is another good thing for AMD. The 7950 X3D, I can pop that out, pop a newer CPU in there, which is pretty cool. So, but I was chasing the X chips the whole way, and the hardware just couldn't run the software. This is the first time that I'm running everything in Ultra, and I've got the sliders up full right. 200 and 400, I think they are. So I'm above Ultra into custom. And the departure out of Innsbruck was just simply amazing, and it was pretty smooth now that I have the issue found and figured out. So it doesn't get much better than this. Not at all. Oh, Babylon. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was some crazy times back then. And what made matters worse is after the buildings came down, I mean, nobody was prepared back then, so you really can't blame anybody for the beginning. We just had paper masks for like the first week. And OSHA finally came around and saw us with these paper masks and said, "What are you, crazy?" And they gave us these HEPA filters, these little gray with the purple big filters. You can change the cartridges on them. Well, the department didn't like that because they said it makes the regular public that are roaming around the area feel uncomfortable. So we were actually forced to remove them until they had their department doctor put together a booklet, which was about that thick, of questions that we had to answer. And their excuse was wearing that mask puts additional stress on your heart, and you could have a heart attack. That's what their excuse was to us. So it took him, I don't know, a couple of months to put the booklet together. We finally got them, had to fill them out, send them back to him. He had to review them, review your medical history, and then you had to go see this guy. So by the time you got your mask, the damage was done. I mean, and anybody that believed Christy Whitman back then was saying, "Oh, the air quality is good," and meanwhile you can't see your hand in front of your face. I mean, that's pretty naive. So, but I do it all again, knowing what I know now. You know, listen, that was my job. There was a lot of people that were in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel that we had to go get out. I mean, they had no power, no fans, no lights, no nothing. You couldn't see anything in front of you. So we basically walked arm in arm in the tunnel till we tripped over somebody. Can you walk? No. Two guys behind us would pick them up, carry them out. If they would like to walk and wounded, they would come up to you, bump into you. All right, you can walk. All right, here, you feel my hand. See, you're going to go this way. The guy at the end's going to tell you which way to go. And then the guy at the end would tell him, listen, hold on to this pipe, you know, the handrail for the walk path, and walk that way until you get to sunlight. And then once we did that, we had to deal with all the vehicles that were left behind. And typical New Yorkers, I swear, the department didn't want to ruin all these cars just by ripping them out of the tunnel, because, I mean, there were hundreds of cars. It took 12 hours to get rid of them all. We had to go and find the keys for all the cars. So we had a big box of keys on the Brooklyn Plaza, and you just grabbed a handful like this, and you went and you tried to find where they belonged to. And believe it or not, you got this big white cloud coming at you. It's like, what, early morning, you're going to work, you have no idea what that is. People actually got out of their car, started running toward Brooklyn, took the time to lock their car. Are you kidding me? We had so many cars that were locked, it wasn't even funny. It's unbelievable. Typical New Yorkers, man. No, got to protect my car. It could be underwater because you have no idea what that is. They didn't know that wasn't water coming at them. Tunnels it's underground under the water, but most people think tunnel cracks, you're going to get flood. Not that there would be a cloud of smoke coming from the other open end. Amazing. Absolutely amazing to me, these individuals. It took 12 hours to actually clear that tunnel that day before it was done. All those cars went to the impound. When I came home that day, I was gray. If you ever saw that movie Volcano at the end where everybody looked the same and everybody was just gray, that's exactly what we looked like. Every one of us. And you couldn't touch our skin from all the fiberglass, from all the fluorescent light bulbs in the Twin Towers that came down. That was all in that mix and mess. The cement was so pulverized, it was like baby powder. It didn't have any sharp edges to it at all. And the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, I don't know if it is today, but at the time it was the longest tunnel in the United States. That powder was 3/4 of the way through the tunnel, and it had to be about that thick as far as off the ground. That was a crazy, crazy day. I came home and I had to get changed in the hallway. My wife just came out with a 55-gallon garbage bag, put it in the hallway and said, listen, step in there. Take off your shoes, your socks, your pants, your underwear, your shirt, everything off in the bag. Step out right into the shower. And all those clothes went in the garbage. Right in the garbage. It wouldn't have been bad getting naked in the hall, but I live in a 16-unit apartment building. So there could have been little eyes peeking out of all those little apartments. And if you think I'm white now, can you imagine me all gray except for areas that were covered being white? Hoo-hoo. Yeah, that was a hell of a time back then. Lost a few friends to cancers and whatnot already. Me, I've been lucky. I've only lost a couple of organs and have some breathing issues and whatnot, but some of my friends lost their life in the aftermath, not during. This was just getting sick afterwards. And I don't mind getting sick, and I don't mind everything we went through. The thing that really ticked me off was with the department. I had to fight for my benefits. Those dogs. I had to fight. Basically, they said my kidney cancer was a coincidence to 9/11. My thyroid cancer was coincidence to 9/11. My breathing was a coincidence. Everything I had was a coincidence. I had to fight them and finally win. And in the meantime, they took all my sick time, all my vacation time from me to pay me. And then after that, they paid me at the WAP rate, which was at a reduced rate. It's a without pay rate. So I got paid at a reduced rate until I finally won. That's the only thing that I'm bitter about. That ticked me off. There was actually a woman in the department that was actually trying to separate me from service instead of letting me retire, if you can believe that. But what are you going to do? In the end, I pretty much beat them all. There's only one lawsuit I think that's actually waiting, and that probably will never come to fruition. And that's against the Saudis for what they did back then. They call it all national security. They're not going to release all the data for the lawsuits, but they funded this operation. There's no doubt in my mind. And then you go after them for punitive damages. I couldn't go after them, anybody, for punitive damages. The only thing they gave me was the money I lost. That's it. I think the Saudis can afford it. The Saudis pony up, then I'll have my 6-car garage. How about that? All right, we're coming up to Batty. Batty, we should have 10-2. We're 10-2 on the fuel. We're right on the money. We've got 48 miles now to top of descent, 195 to go. So all in all, this has been a pretty great run. And let's see, when are we going to get on that chart? We on that chart yet? Let's go to Amsterdam. Take a look at the arrival. We have the what? HELEN 2A. 2A. Are we on there? Nope, we don't get there until HELEN. Let's see, where's HELEN? We're still a little ways out. Yeah, about 80 miles out. So we'll be on that chart in just a little bit. In the meantime, how about, let me check this stuff one more time. I did it already, but we'll check again. HELEN, we need to be below 24,000, and we have Hasma, nothing there. River 250 between 7 and 10, or as assigned by ATC. We're going to go with the charts. And then from there, we're on the approach. And at the 36 right, we're going to be using the ILS this ride. So from River, we're going to come in over Amsterdam, bank a right-hand turn, and we're basically going to come around, make a U-turn. So should have a really cool view out that right window. Let's get set up here. What do we have? Elevation. Let's get that back. Decision height refer to minimums. Okay. 111.95. 95. We're looking at 002. Alright. Let's take a look at this approach here. River. Alright, we're coming in. 160. Right. To you. 160, 161, 162. Then we're into Nuco. 636, 635. And we're on our way in on a mist. We are holding. Climb to 2,000. Okay, and we're holding at a deuce. And on the way out, on the mist, we're straight out, basically. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Decision height, I put that in, did I? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at right now? And all right, we're looking pretty good. Stay well ahead of the aircraft. And let's see, we'll be coming in at about $142. And what are we looking at? 22 miles to top of descent now. How about we get them back in their seats? And we are good all the way down. All right, below 24 at Helen. And between 7 and 10 at River. And we're under 50 miles. We'll be on this chart. Beyond the arrival into Amsterdam. So what did I miss here? Hey Paul, how's it going? I didn't see you sneak in here. Island, wow man, have a good night, Vincent. Glad you stopped by, brother. Oh, I'm glad you're doing all good. I'm doing all good. Yeah, the wife's doing pretty good. She's in there with her Hallmark channel, so she's not bothering me, so that's a good thing. Well, she did come in here to give me my meds. I'm surprised she didn't come in here for my second batch yet. Maybe she fell asleep on the couch. Hey Rodney, how's it going? Phoenix tonight, yeah, nice. Oh, my wife, Brian, yeah, I'm telling you, she's the one that you see with the freaking, you know, with the sweatshirt, with the coffee mug from Hallmark, drinking hot chocolate with a freaking, one of those barber pole freaking peppermint sticks in it. I can make fun of her because she's not here. And she really doesn't watch my channel, so I can get away with it. All right, let's see how PMDG handles the descent. The way out was beautiful. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was absolutely beautiful. And I really didn't notice any flickers, a couple here and there, but those stutters I was getting are gone. All right, what do we have? Top of descent in another mile. We got 150 miles now to Amsterdam. And we're going to be swinging a couple of nice right-hand turns, so you should have a nice view. And we're on our way down. And that's 1 hour from the gate, 57 minutes from the runway. And Transavia Flight, they did this ride in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we're going to see just how close we can come to that. Yeah, Coffin, give that a view, man. If you're going to run that, if you haven't run that ride, that's a pretty good run. And even run it in the opposite direction, coming into Innsbruck, is an amazing run as well. So far, the descent is looking pretty good. Great run. And let's see, we should be on that chart in about 30 miles. And we should be 285 there, Louis. You're a little behind the aircraft. Oh, you're in the jump seat, huh? That's you right behind me. And we're going to 300 now. And the fuel, 9.7. Well, we're actually up one, 9.6. We're up 100 pounds. 8.6 when we get in. 137 miles to go. All in all, this has been a pretty good ride. No complaints. It would be nice, though, to figure out what changed my settings, though, for NVIDIA. And see if I can keep that from happening again. One good thing is I know where it is, and I know how to fix it. All right, 130 miles to go. And then we're going on what, just about 6? Oh, yeah, I'll have dinner. Maybe I can get another ride in after dinner. I don't think we're doing anything today. I think my wife's wiped out from Thanksgiving, which I hope everybody had a good one. Let's celebrate. So, she may even, oh yeah, I'll have leftover turkey. Make a turkey sandwich for dinner. I can get another ride in here tonight, I think. These seats, I found these seats in 737-100 out in the graveyard out in Arizona. I had to replace the cushions, you know, and the covers, but yeah, I found those in graveyard. I actually was able to look up the serial numbers and find what aircraft it belonged to. I grabbed a picture of it. I have it in my big package that has all the everything that deals with this flight deck in a big manila envelope. So I grabbed a photo of that plane. I believe they were out, I don't know if it was San Diego or LAX. They were out west, though. And it was still in operation for that photo. Pretty cool. But I have these on straight rails, though. These go straight back, and I come out to the outside. And I did that on purpose because I didn't want anybody coming on the inside of the pedestal, maybe knocking into it, tripping over, you know, hitting it with their hand, breaking any buttons and whatnot. We just slide back and go out the right. Keep them away from all the hardware, you know. 322. Fuel is right on the money, 9.6, 8.6 when we get in. 117 to go. The only thing I really have to get going in 2020 are my flight illusion gauges. I get those going, and then I have the same capability between X-Plane and 2020. 2020, my flight illusion gauges work, but in here, still haven't gotten them running. I wrote the company, G-Step doesn't seem to work. It says they're connected and I can get backlighting, but that's it. No information gets transferred. Oh, I have no idea what I'm going to run after I come back from dinner, Jackson. No idea. Man, this is a beautiful view. There's a view out to the horizon, man. You can see the water all the way out there. Yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. It's amazing what we're able to put together. And it's amazing that this all comes together as well as it does. All right, we're coming up on that chart now. So we're on the arrival into Amsterdam now. And we're going to 357. And we're inbound Hamza. Fuel 95. Still looking at 8.6 when we get in. Just over 100 miles to go, 104. And I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but we're right there on our way in, right on the money. Oh, that's true. Well, you know, maybe not. There's still some in operation today, so. All right, that's done. Right, I have all that in. You're not done. You're going to go. Everything else should be done. Yes, what do we have on the way in? 143. I see it disconnects the VNAV. Entering that into the flight management computer disconnects the VNAV, and it does it every single time. Something weird going on there. And it's not coming from Device Interface Manager because there are other individuals on PMDG that have complained about it. So. And let me have you. And you're looking for a little drag. We'll give you a little drag on the way down. And we're under 100 miles now. We're 92 miles. Oh yeah, if you look at these DUS fasteners, they work. I could pop out each one of these panels. These DUS fasteners do work. I could pop each one of them out. Same thing on the pedestal. I turn that screw, quarter turn on the forward, I'll pop that whole panel out. Oh yeah. Flightdeck Solutions, the company that actually made this flight deck, actually makes hardware for the commercial industry now. So, matter of fact, Southwest Airlines is using their hardware. GE&E, NASA. There's some freighter companies, you know, airline freight companies that are actually using their hardware as well. So, on the bad side of it, enthusiasts like myself, you can't go and buy one of these from them now. So I was lucky. I got in early, you know, and I'm kind of grandfathered in. So, and this is basically as good as you're going to get as far as training in the real world, unless you're going to go to a multi-million-dollar simulator. And that's why she has survived 10 years with minimal work being done to it. I changed some Hall effect sensors in here. I added backlighting to my throttle quad, but that's because this is a Jetmax, which is what Flightdeck Solution owned, the company back then. But I added backlighting because I wanted to. I didn't have to. But I didn't have to really do anything to this. And that's it. Everything else is just the way it came, except I added flight illusion gauges. So, and then I had Steve, their IT, fly down from Canada, and he worked with me for a week with a friend of mine, Mr. G, who has his own flight deck that lives down here. Came over and we put this together in a week. All right, we're inbound river. We need to be between 10 and 7,000 at 250 knots. So we're going to need a little bit of speed brake here. Wow, that looks fantastic. I know you don't get to see it in 4K like I do, but man, that looks good. Nice. Little souvenir. That should be in range. And we're just under 75 miles out now. And we're coming up on 10, so let's get her all lit up here. You're good there, you're good there, you're good there. Let's have a peek. And we should be on local pressure there, Johnny. Oh, no, I'm thinking I'm in the States. I'm not in the States. All right, where are we here? Let's see. All right, bleed air panels, auto, pressurization, land altitude is in. Passenger signs are on. Auto brake selector is set. Flight instruments and radios, we are good here. Course in. Decision height is in. Land altitude is all done. Recall. And we got a clean board. And landing data minimums, I said we're coming in at what, $142, I believe. Oh, $143. All right, so we're good. And let's slow down to 250. And we're at 10,500. We're coming down beautifully to 250. And we're just coming up on 10,000 now. Right on the money for River. All right, let's move on over to the approach. And this ride, we're going to be doing the ILS run instead of doing RNAV. I've been doing RNAV all the time. And we're going to get picked up here at River. So we're at 10,100. We're at 200. We're slowing to what? 240? Oh, we're slowing to 250. Right on the money. We're all lit up, ready to go. And that view is amazing. Beautiful view. All right, River. 9.3. We're 9.3 on the fuel. We'll have 8.8 when we get in now. We picked up a couple 100 pounds. And we are 60 miles out now. Not on that chart just yet. Oh, that's pretty cool. Coffin, that's pretty cool. Forgivable mistakes. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about the flight deck. You can always hit reset. What a great view. This is where the plausible world just can't compete with 2020. Not my opinion anyway. But I love their night lighting though. Yeah, maybe I'll get one more ride in today, hopefully after dinner with 2020. And then maybe tomorrow I'll do a couple of night flights in X-Plane. Yeah, I did that stuff when I was a kid too. When I used to do demolition work, and then we swung a hammer starting to build stuff, and I'd put my name back there on some of the stuff and the date and whatnot when we built it. Still in a lot of these houses, I'm sure. I see some of these people actually put. They go to one of these Halloween stores, pick up some skeleton parts, and put them back behind the wall, and then build it. Says, give them 20 years, they're gonna find some parts back there. Give them a momentary, whoa, what is that? Until they realize it's plastic. What a great view. I tell you, my voice has been holding up pretty good today too. All right, we're on that chart. And that should be coming into view. And you're going to have an amazing view out that right window.
That's 11:59. Good evening, clear direct, nonstop.
Cool. McGuire. Yeah, I know that base.
42 contact, 128.75.
Gibraltar. It's another nice run.
Good evening, Delta 126 Heavy's out of 52.190. Delta 126 center, good evening, climb and maintain flight level 290. Delta 126 clears to flight level 290.
All right, we're 240 knots right now, and then we're going to slow to 220.
Flight level 330. Delta 126 clear to flight level 330. What kind of ride?
I want to see how she handles this arrival, or this approach actually. It's a little tight, but I'm hoping she can handle it without any issues on the auto flight. Oh, I like the windmills. They look pretty cool. You don't see those in the States. About a half a dozen of them down there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool view. Wow, whole family served. There's our airport down there. That is one big airport, man. So from over SPL, we're going to go 137, and we're going to be inbound AM 160, right? What did I say we're holding at? So far, this has been a great run from cold and dark to where we are now. Beautiful ride. And the view is spectacular. It's been beautifully smooth the entire run. I mean, if there are any flickers in here, there are few and far in between. All right, we're on our way. 160. We've got 9987 when we get in. Don't think fuel's going to be a problem. That's a beautiful view. Sun looks nice coming off the water. Might be a little oversaturated for the camera though. That looks nice. So PMDG's latest update, and the auto flight system has performed beautifully. Oh, I'm not sure what they call it. Wow, look at that view. Man. Awesome. And we are right on the money. I don't know if you can see that here. Inbound AM 160. She is just performing beautifully. I'll tell you, being that 2020 doesn't have any warping software, it does a pretty good job with the lateral roll and horizontal setup. But it would be nice if they added a little bit ability to be able to bend it a little bit, shift it. But it's not that bad. And what's nice is these monitors come back past my shoulders, past these frames. So I have like 180. When I'm looking straight, I have a 180 degree view. I can see this out my windows. And it's still the outside view of the sim, which is pretty cool. All right, we're inbound 161 now. Wow. That is stunning. That is absolutely stunning. All right, we're down to 220. Beautiful. How about we start slowing down here? I want to enjoy this view. I'll take that, actually. And let's go right to 5. Let's enjoy this. Yeah, Shadow's not in here today. He's not even in the garage. He's hanging out with my wife. He's watching the Hallmark Channel today. I guess he didn't want to go to Amsterdam. He didn't have his passport. Oh, give me 10. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. And this is all the auto flight system that I programmed into the flight management computer. She is performing right on the money. Absolutely great run. Well, it's funny because the cat actually likes whipped cream, and if my wife has her hot chocolate, they know that can. When she shakes that can, they come running, man. Or if they hear that out of the can, they're fighting to get on top of one another. She gives them a tiny little squirt. And I don't know, from what I understand, they can't taste sweets, but they seem to love it. So I don't get it. All right, and let's swing you all the way around. You're going to go back to a deuce. Right, and that's set at 2. We're looking pretty good here. Little bit of back and forth there. Not bad though. Oh, he's just a cat that my wife found in a hole in the ground in the backyard. He's not. He's like a mixed breed kind of a mutt. Yeah, he's not some hoity-toity cat. Pure breed. Far from it. Look at this, is absolutely perfect. You probably can't even see that, but man, we are right on the money. We're going to be coming around here. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. All right, let's bring up the airport here. And our gate is D54. D54. We're right in that little, oh, you don't have any charts. I keep forgetting you don't have charts. We're right in that little fork that sticks out. All right, we got another right coming up, and we're on our way in. And the view has been spectacular. All right, let's see. Pick up the localizer. You can even pick up the ILS now. All right. What a great run, man. Beautiful. Give me the gear. A little bit of overshoot, but 15. And we're going to slow all the way down. Enjoy this view the whole way. And 30. So we have lights, engine start selectors, auto brake, speed brake, landing gear, flaps, and they have been notified. What a great run. And it is still beautifully smooth out here. If there are any flickers, they're far and few in between. Nicely done. Oh, that's good to hear, Max. Cool. So the auto flight is, I don't think I have to check that anymore until they come out with a new update, because this has been great. There are the windmills we saw on the way down. Well, that I saw on the way down. I don't know if you guys saw them. What a beautiful view. Alright, I'll take it now. My bird. I've got control. Well, this has been a great run, man. It doesn't get any better than this. Unless you're in a multi-million-dollar sim. Continue. Wow, the grass looks like they just cut it, man. Prepare for landing. Oh, easy there, Louis. Welcome to Amsterdam. What a great run. I don't think we're making that. I wanted to make that one, but we ain't making that. We are not making that, baby. Yep, I wanted to make E2, but we ain't making that. We are not making that. TA and test. What a great ride, man. I hope you enjoyed that. I had a blast. Don't need you either. Beautiful run. And we can kill number 2. And we're going to come across and then down.
Level 170, descend to maintain level 250. Descend to level 250, level 17.
APU is up. We'll give that a minute. And we are right on that spike there, the first one here. See, that's been a minute. This is a nice looking airport. Alright, we're coming in right here. I think we're the second gate in. And nobody's in our spot. Matter of fact, I don't see any aircraft out here. Interesting. Yeah, a little flicker there. Not much though, but I could deal with that. Everything that's going on in here, oh yeah. Alright everybody, I'm going to go grab dinner and see if I can get another ride in after. This was rather nice. Kill that anti-collision, let them run around. Alright, let me have this other chart. I'm going to need... Oh no, I'm thinking I'm in X-plane here. Ground services, set the chocks, give me ground power, and give me air conditioning. Chocks are in. We can get rid of that. We're just waiting on ground. Ground's available. Alright, ground is available. And we are on ground power. Let's get set for unconditioned air. You're off. You are off. And stand by. Let's have a peek. Electrical power, APU or ground. We're on ground. Bleed air, we are set for unconditioned air. Fuel levers to cut off. Anti-collision light is off. Passenger signs are off. Fuel pump switches are off. Electrical panel check set. Galley power is off. Window heat switches are off. Hydraulic pump switches are off. Electric 2-in-1. Exterior lights, we have position lights. Flight director switches are off. Chocks in position. Parking brake is off. And that is a wrap. Alright everybody, and that was what, hour and 34? So we're actually 11 minutes early. Go figure. Interesting. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed that ride. And like always, man, I always appreciate the company and the conversation along the way, man. Alright, thanks for joining me. And maybe I'll catch you later on tonight after I come back from dinner. I'm going to try and get another ride in. And then tomorrow I'll hook up X-Plane and we'll get some night rides in. I miss my night lighting. Alright everybody, I'll catch you later. Take care.
Oh, you're coming in with my meds. Good timing.
Delta 140, 16,000 for 190. Delta 140, Flight Deck, maintain couple 330. Delta 140, climbing 330.
Set to emergency switchback, we're at flight level 370, direct.
Person 22 Quebec, Roger, when able to direct to Alex.
Okay, when able, direct to Alex, take 2 Quebec.
Kepler 170, contact on 133.42.
3342, W170, get it?
Kepler 1266, do not exceed 270 knots now, 270 or less, still Provi.
270 or less, Provi, W12.